Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Fine, very well.
What's your name?
My name is Luz Victoria Ortiz.
Hi,
I am
Luz.
from Colombia.
From
Colombia.
Hey, and what do you do in Colombia, Luz Vi?
I am science teaching. I am working in a bilingual school, and I am teaching science in English.
Do you enjoy that?
Yes, I enjoy it a lot because this is a good way to improve my English and to practice it all the time.
Fantastic. And how long have you been studying English, Luz Vi?
Well, my first steps in English were when I began my high school, like 30 years ago. But it was not as a second language, only to have some ideas about. But on that time, I was on my teenage time, so it was the time of Beatles. So I'd like to know what they say when on their songs. So I would like to know much English. So I began to listen to them and to try to understand using the dictionary and trying some people to write me the letters. And that's the way I began to learn more English too.
Brilliant. To learn the Beatles songs, that's a fantastic thing.
Yes.
What do you think is the most difficult thing about learning English?
For me, in my case, listening.
Yeah.
And not speaking, because you can speak, but to have fluency is not so easy. But for me, the most difficult thing is the listening, especially when people talk too quickly.
Right.
It's
Tell me something about your daily routine.
in Colombia.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am a mother. I have a family. So normally when I get up, I have to organize my home, my house, to organize the breakfast, organize my children that go to school. Then I organize myself and I'm going to work from 7 to 12 and a half. Then I go home again. Then I go home again to organize the lunch. Then I come back to school until 5 more or less. And sometimes I go to dancing classes that I have. And sometimes I teach personal classes too. Depends.
Fantastic.
And then I'm going home to stay with my kids.
Yeah. And what do you do at the weekends?
Well, normally at the weekends I share more time with my kids and with my husband. I do housekeeping, as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I go shopping or I meet some friends and we say normally a cup of coffee, because we don't use too much the tea,
Right.
or chocolate sometimes.
Right.
And shopping, that's all.
Cup of chocolate.
Yes,
Right.
or maybe sometimes we go to the movie, or sometimes we go to a river and to swim a little, or a swimming pool, because in Ibagué where I live is like warm,
Yeah.
so we have a lot of swimming pools.
It sounds like an exciting life, Luz Vi.
Yes.
What kind of food do you like to eat?
Well, I like all kind of food. For me, it's not a hard problem. If I go to another country, I have to eat what they eat them, because there is no problem for me. But of course, I love my Colombian food.
Yeah. What's typical food to Colombia?
For example, I like a lot our tamales. That is a special food in Ibagué. But as I am not from Ibagué, I am from Bogota, that is the capital city, and we have a special food that is called ajiaco, that is chicken with 2 types of potatoes, with corn, and with milk cream, and with avocado and rice, and it's nice.
Fantastic. It does sound nice.
Yes.
Okay, Luz Vi, we're going to move on to part 2 of the speaking test,
Okay.
in which I'm going to give you a topic to speak about, and you will have 1 minute to sit and write some notes if you wish. and then I'm going to ask you to speak for between 1 and 2 minutes on the topic.
Okay.
Okay, without any conversation. So the topic is technology.
Yes.
And you can use any of these questions
Okay.
to help you organise your notes. Okay, Luz Vi, you ready to talk to me?
Okay. I like technology a lot. In this moment, for example, in our school, we have smart boards, and so we have to use them in a proper way and to try to do as many activities as possible using them, because the school bought them, and they were very expensive, so we have to use it alone. But when I was young at school and at the university, at that time the computers weren't using as normally we use today, so I didn't know how to use them. But when I began to work, I had the necessity to know how to use them, so I learned by myself to use the computers, and then I saw that it was very important and they were amazing. So now I am very happy to use them because I try to use them a lot. But also other types of technologies, because not only computers are technologies we can use. For example, in my case, in science, we use the microscopes, we use other types of things that we can do and used to make some practices, so it's good too. And I am microbiologist too, so with microbiology you need a lot of technology, for example chromatology and other things to do specific tests like chemical tests and things like that, or to search bacteria or microorganisms.
Fantastic, thank you, Luz Vi. Okay, let's move on to part 3, and
Yes.
we're going to continue with the same topic of
Yes.
technology, and I'm going to ask you a few questions so we can have a conversation. Okay. How do you think technology differs from your parents' generation?
It's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gasp, you can say, or gap.
Gasp, or a gap,
Gasp,
yeah.
yes. Because they only use TV, radio, but not the technology we have now.
Do your parents use the internet?
No, never. No, because when they died, they passed away,
Okay.
they didn't use even the computers. My father, yes, because he was a bacteriologist, so he worked in a medical laboratory.
Yeah.
So maybe he used kind of technology, but specific for medicine, but not like computers and those things. No.
So you have been the generation that has begun all of
Yes.
this technology.
Yes.
Do you see it changing with your students at school, the next generation?
Of course. For example, we can see that I work with children from like 9 to 12, and they know more than me. Sometimes they teach me how to use, for example, the smart board.
Yeah, you
sometimes,
have to ask them.
Oh, what is the way that I have to do this? Can I show you, teacher? Of course, help me. So normally they are teachers for us in
Yeah.
that cases, and we see, for example, the the very little kids, like for kinder or first grade, and they do things that normally I don't know how to do it.
Right, you have to
Yes.
keep asking them. They have this new language of technology.
Yes, they are completely immersed in that technology.
Now that you've come to Vancouver, has technology been important to you with keeping in contact with home, or?
Well, no, I think there is the same like in Colombia. Before, Colombia was like undeveloped on
Right.
those things, but now we are like equal. I can see.
But
Yes.
you can use the communication technology.
Yes, for example, I can chat with my children every day. I can send messages to my friends, the pictures we have taken here, so they know that we are happy, that we
Yeah.
are traveling. Yes.
So it makes this experience different because you can stay in contact with your
Yes,
family.
completely. Always we are in contact. Before, if for example, when I went to Brazil like 15 years ago, I only could talk with my parents once by telephone. But
Right.
now, every day I can communicate with my family.
Yeah, so it's much
It's-
easier, isn't it?
Yes,
When you can do
yes.
that. Do you think that it's really important for equal access to technology? Do you think that makes a difference? That everybody has equal access?
I think not all people have the same access, because in my case, for example, in Colombia, only persons that live in cities or in towns, but for example, farmers or like our natives, they don't have too much access to the technology.
Does it make a difference to their life, to their experience, their opportunities?
Yes, because for example, with the computers, you can know what happened in every part of the world.
Yeah.
Or you can know different cultures, different languages, etc., because we can access to. Meanwhile, the farmers and those people can have that opportunity.
Right. That's brilliant. Thank you, Luz Vi.
Okay.
You've been fantastic. We'll finish there.